What is up, everybody? Welcome into episode 21 of the Brahma Bullpen, and tons of stuff that has been happening. So we had the dispersal draft on the 15th. Then on the 19th, I decided to go out and have dinner with my family and turn off X and social media for an hour. Next thing I know, my phone is blowing up. The Brahmas are going absolutely crazy drafting free agents. 20 free agents all in one shot. Just boom, here we go. All these new players. It is crazy. The teams are only allowed to have 74 men on the roster. Right now, the Brahmas have, let me check my stats, 91 players on the roster. That's right, 91. We're only allowed 74. What does that mean? That means people are going to be getting cut even before camp starts. We have no idea who's going to be on the roster. The bet, if you're going to bet, the only way you would bet is anyone that got signed in free agent on the 15th, and anyone that got picked up, got picked up in the dispersal draft on the 15th, and signed a free agent contract on the 19th, would be in. I mean, that right there is 35 players. Okay, that's half our roster on those two events. So you can bet that those people are going to be the ones that are going to actually be in training camp. But we'll go ahead and throw the list up right here and go over it. We got Matt Amendola, kicker. Greg Elan, O-line. Chuck uh, Filagi, O-line. Benjamin Franklin, DB. Chase Gabers, quarterback. Gavin Helsop, defensive back. Joe Linganui, linebacker. Sorry, Joe. I apologize. Derek Kelly, O-line. Javante Kirkland, wide receiver. Yeah, that same Kirkland wide receiver that caught a touchdown and rushed for a touchdown against the Brahmas last year and beat the crap out of us. Yeah, he's now a Brahma. Let's go. But Terrence Lang, D line, Jason Lumen, D line, John Lovett, running back, Elise Mack, tight end. That's right, baby. Elise Mack is back. The Mack is back. The Mack truck is back in San Antonio. We love it. Going to be backing up Lattimore for sure. But anyways, Zach McLeod, linebacker, Garrett Nelson, linebacker, Scott Nelson, defensive back, Darius Phillips, defensive back, Vernon Scott, defensive back, uh, Marquis Stevenson, wide receiver, and Jared Williams on the old line. Woo! Okay. I read all those names to you so that you could understand the significance of what's happening here. Wade Phillips is bringing in all of his own players. This is not last year's San Antonio Brahmas. We're going to end up having 10, maybe 15 players back from our roster for last year that we're going to recognize and know. We're gonna have a whole new team down here in San Antonio. And you know what? You know, is that good? Is it bad? I don't know. Definitely want to make sure that we take care of the players uh, that played their butts off for us last year. We know some of the better players are definitely going to be here, including like Jordan Williams will be on the roster. Uh, and you know what? Maybe he's the only one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But with that being said, we're going to take this episode and we're going to talk a little bit about the free agent signings. We're going to focus on players that we know are going to make an impact. Like I've been saying this whole time, it's hard to get into too much player and roster breakdown and rankings and who's going to do what and play what until training camp starts. So we don't know who's going to be doing what and who's going to be where, but all we know is the Brahmas have almost two full teams players on the roster right now. So let's get into it. We're going to look at some of the players that we just picked up in free agency. We're going to start off talking about our kicker position, Matt Amendola. Played college football at Oklahoma State, went undrafted in the 2020 NFL draft. He played for the Panthers, the Jets, the Kansas City Chiefs, Arizona Cardinals, Green Bay Packers, and Houston Texans. He was on the Roughneck roster over the summer, and Coach Phillips brought him down into San Antonio. So there you have it. This is Matt's probably going to be our starting kicker. You can see by the graphic here. I took little clips from like all the. He's been on a whole bunch of teams trying to find a spot, but he just found a home here in San Antonio. Let's go. Welcome to San Antonio. Welcome to Brahmas. He doesn't have a whole lot of professional career stats. He's 24 field goals made out of a possible 35. That counts like preseason games and stuff like that. So he's kicking at about 69% completion percentage. Definitely want to see that number go up. Definitely think it's going to go up. He's going to be kicking in a friendly dome. Not a lot of wind, and Not a lot of elements to deal with. And hopefully, most of his time is spent kicking extra points, right? Or who knows? Maybe the Brahmas are just going to go for two every time. But we got us a kicker. Welcome to the team, Matt. All right. Let's get into the most important position on the field, and that is the quarterback position. So everybody knows that I got a spot in my heart for Jack Cohn. I think he can be a great starting quarterback. He just needs some help and some protection. Then in the free dispersal draft, we use our number one pick in the dispersal draft to get Normandy. That's cool too. Now you got two guys fighting for a starting position. But after the free agent signings, I don't think those guys are going to be our starters. And why do I think that? Producer, roll the Chase Garbers highlight, please.
It is. Going 11. Garbers escapes and takes off. Garbers.
It's tough to do. He finds the window and finds a first down.
Third and 14. Garbers. Close to the line of scrimmage. Just got it off in time.
Is Garbers. Looking for a check down. Doesn't have one. He'll head to the sideline.
Garbers stepping up. Now tucks. Inside the 5 to the pylon.
Down at 14. And it's caught. Get the first down. It's Crawford.
Now snaps the ball quickly. And they'll get...
Yep. There you have it. 3-year starter at the University of Cal. Got some wheels on him. The boy can run. He can move. He's mobile. He's running a spread offense. One of the things about him, if you watch those highlights, he throws the ball from so many different angles. He doesn't get rattled so much. He does need a little protection, but what quarterback doesn't need protection? But he has the ability to compensate for a missed assignment or a bad block or one of the old linemen just getting beat. Get on the run, get on the edge, get the ball out. That's what football is now. Pocket passers are dinosaurs. They are the way of the past. I don't know if anybody's been watching the NFL playoffs lately, but just look at every team still in the playoffs and look who their quarterbacks are. Understand those guys move. They move in the pocket. They move to the edge. They run for first downs, and you got to account for them on every play. It used to be the oddity that quarterbacks ran in the NFL. It was much more common in college, basically because in college you would just take your best athlete, put him at quarterback because he touches the ball every time, and watch good things happen. And if the play breaks down, just go run. Now it's more like a mixture of the two. Quarterbacks are not just running the option just to run because you're trying to protect yourself because linebackers and D linemen are deadly. But you got to have a quarterback that's got legs, mobility. I guess that's the word we're looking for, mobility. You don't have to be fast and run down the field, a Michael Vick or Randall Cunningham type breakaway speed and just outrun everybody. But you got to be mobile. You got to buy time. You got to get to the edges, and then get those receivers playing. What is that, backyard ball, where you're just kind of reading the quarterback and seeing where the defense is at and making throws. And I think Chase is the guy. I think this pickup was an A.J. Smith pickup. I think he specifically went for him. And I'm not so sure who the starting quarterback's going to be. Can't wait to see what starts going down in camp, start getting camp news. But my man, Chase, welcome to San Antonio. Welcome to the bullpen. We are very happy that you're here. And we went from people talking about the Brahmas not having a quarterback to, do we have the deepest quarterback room in the league? I mean, if Garbers, Cohn, and Normandy all stay, do we not have a combined, if you look at them overall, do we not have the best 3 quarterbacks in any team in the UFL right now? And correct me if I'm wrong, but quarterbacks win championships, not defense anymore. Well, maybe you need both, but quarterback's very important. So Brahmas, best quarterback room in the UFL. You heard it first here on the bullpen. All right, let's move on. See who we got next. Yes, sir. There we have it. John Trey Kirkland. I went back and watched game 3 of the 2023 season of the XFL. Me and the producer here for the bullpen went to the road game in Houston, and there was this pesky wide receiver that was just killing us the whole game. And lo and behold, here he is. You look at the stats we got right here. It's kind of crazy. The guy played 5 games, 253 yards doesn't sound like a lot. It's 50 yards a game. Okay. Uh, 16 yards per catch and 4 touchdowns in 5 games. Led the Houston Roughnecks in receiving touchdowns. Only played half the season. In the week he played against us, he caught a touchdown and rushed for a touchdown. So you can see that AJ Smith spread offense style where receivers come across the middle, the ball gets hiked to the quarterback, he either flips or hands it to the wide receiver coming on the screen there, and boom, there he is. Uh, no prediction here needed. I believe this is wide receiver 1 or 2. He's either going to be one side or the other, but he's going to be one of the wideouts starting out there. And we're very excited that he's here. We're very excited he's going to be scoring lots of touchdowns in the dome. Let's go. Welcome to San Antonio. All right. Next, we can't talk about the San Antonio Brahmas without talking about a little bit of defense. So, like I said, we're just looking at some of the people we just picked up in free agents, some of the 20. We can't highlight all 20. We'd literally be here for like a day, right? But anyway, safety Vernon Scott, 6'2", 200 pounds, went to TCU, 7th-round pick out of Green Bay. Doesn't have a lot of stats. Been on the Green Bay roster, practice roster off and on for the last 2 or 3 years. He was a standout at TCU, back in the defensive secondary. He's got so much time in an NFL camp. He's NFL talent. There's no way to address it any different. He's an NFL fringe player. Maybe his career's been derailed a little bit by untimely injuries and other players stepping up at the right time, being in the right place at the right time. But he's a fringe guy. He should have no problem succeeding in the UFL. He's going to be one of the more talented players in the secondary, not only here for the San Antonio Brahmas, but definitely for the XFL division and probably the entire UFL league. So we're very excited that he's been here. Some of these younger guys, some of the younger defensive backs, you never know who's going to be like a leader inside the locker room and teach these young cats how to practice, the way to practice, how to treat their bodies, what they need to do to stay successful for a whole year. I know it's a 10-game season, but by the time you factor in training camp and playoffs, that's right, you heard it here first, baby. The Brahmas are going to go to the playoffs. But by the time you factor in all that time, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to maintaining your body and a lot to being a constant professional doing that. And I think a player who's been part of a successful NFL organization for a number of years coming and being our roster is nothing but positives. And you can see how Coach Phillips is just going to beef up this defense even more. So welcome to the Brahmas, Mr. Vernon Scott. And last but not least, our last player highlight from the free agent signings that we're going to cover in this episode of the Brahma Bullpen is none other than Alize Mack. Welcome home, Alize Mack. We're very happy that you're here. After we went through the dispersal draft and went through player allocations, we only had one tight end on the roster. That was Cody Lattimore, which we all know is the number 1 tight end from the XFL last year. He was a number 2 overall receiver for the entire league last year. We are very happy he's here, but he can't do everything. Well, how do we fix that problem? We go get the number 2 tight end from the league last year. Yes, you heard me say it, number 2 tight end. He was the best tight end on the San Antonio Brahmas last year, one of the bright spots on offense that we had. He's great in goal line situations. He's got good hands. He was a second leading receiver on the San Antonio Brahma teams last year. And so he's coming back, familiar with the city. He's going to be familiar with Jack. If Jack winds up playing quarterback, or if not, I'm sure he'll be good. But whoever's throwing him the ball. So, but a big guy, great blocker down the goal line. He's one of those tight ends I don't think you're going to see spread out a whole bunch. It's going to be kind of closer to the O lineman, closer to the center of the field, center of the line of scrimmage. But when you get down to those goal line situations, one of those tight ends that is going to fake like he's blocking, but then kind of release out there into the flat and provide a big target for whoever's throwing the ball, and get some of them blocks in for them running backs. So we're very happy. Mac is back here in San Antonio. Looking forward to seeing him take us, make some improvements over last year in this new offense. And we got two solid tight ends. Am I going to say it? Yes, I am going to say it. We have the best tight end duo in the XFL, or excuse me, UFL. Definitely XFL on our side, the XFL division. Are we calling them divisions or conferences? What are we calling them? What are we calling them? It's definitely got to be a division. We don't have conferences in pro. So we're going to say XFL division, best tight end duo in the XFL division, and probably in the UFL in general. So amazing, amazing, amazing. So much stuff happening. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, keep an eye on these rosters. We're at 91 players. 91 out of only possible 74. So keep the players in mind that are inevitably going to be released in the next couple of weeks. There's a ton of players running up to Canada, or not running, taking jobs in Canada. There's players taking jobs in the Arena Football League, indoor football leagues, whatever you can do to stay in shape, promote your dreams, play football, and get that fan engagement that you're looking for. We're all for it. If any players need any help from the bullpen or the United Football Media Group, please reach out. We'll do everything we can do to kind of help you out, and keep your eyes open. We got tons of stuff going on the channel. We definitely have player interviews coming in down the pipeline, and there's news breaking each and every week right now. Spring football is in full sway. And before I get out of here, I just want to talk about one last thing. I got a couple of, I think I got a minute. Spring football is not the NFL. And if an NFL person if someone from the NFL doesn't want to watch spring football, don't watch. Are you a football fan or are you an NFL fan? Okay, well, here in the bullpen, we're a football fan. We'll watch NFL, we'll watch college, we'll watch indoor, we'll watch arena. I can't get too much in the Canadian Football League, but I try it. I watch it when I can. But we're a fan of football. The United Football League is going to be, and already is, the second best league in this country, and it is the premier spring football league. So if you can't deal with that, haters, shake it off and go watch Taylor Swift, root for Kelsey or something, and get out of my face. Get out of here, casuals. Spring football is here. Let's go, baby. Horns forward.